Hey guys, welcome in. Be Yellow here. Hopefully you are doing well.
This is Robbie, your residing Leo.
What's up? It's the friendly black hottie.
And then we have Zai over here.
And we are SpitFyre. So today is our second, sorry, I lied. Today is our third episode.
Mm-hmm.
And we're excited. We are doing two back to back. Today is actually Valentine's Day, hence the bear. But we're not talking about Valentine's Day things actually. What are we talking about?
Today we're talking about the hellscape that is the employment crisis in America. And just in general, like everything from jobs to really capitalism and just kind of trying to survive in this current socioeconomic climate.
Yes.
Keyword try.
Try. Big on try.
Barely.
Because I'm failing badly.
So yeah, in that scan of that, let's check in a little bit. Kind of hit twofold. How has everyone's day, life been / how is work going for everybody?
Oh, wow. Life be lifing. I would say it's been on the up and up, luckily. Work, however, is working 2 jobs is not for the weak. And every now and again, I think about working the third.
I literally was on Indeed the other night looking at third shift, and I snapped out of it fairly quickly.
I've been tired. And work. I'm clocking in, I'm clocking out. Got the check.
And what more can they ask out of you?
Nothing.
That part.
Real.
What about you, B?
For me, I'm coasting right now. I'm living the dream, honestly. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm happy. I'm good right now.
We love to hear that.
I'm good. Yeah. I'm better than I was 2 weeks ago. So I'm good.
And we really love that.
You have been having a bit more of a sunnier disposition.
Yeah.
I've been bleaching my skin a little bit more lately.
Well, I know that's right.
Sammy Sosa.
Oh my God.
Not Sammy Sosa. Lil Kim.
So in that
Not
same
her.
vein where I know a key kind of touched on it as far as looking at jobs, do we feel like, I don't know about y'all, was with the company for about 3 years, and then I just recently kind of transitioned for my main role kind of seamlessly. So I didn't spend a lot of time out there. But when I try to get my second job bartending, I've never struggled like this in my life. Application after application after application after application after application after another club.
Bar. Tour bus.
I mean, and then the hoops they want you to jump through. And I'm sorry, I'm one of the people that as soon as you say, hey, we need a cover letter, y'all got it. Y'all got it.
No, truly. I think my biggest issue with jobs is lately, they require so much when you're applying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think nobody well, I'm not gonna say no one has it worse, but one of the worst industries to be in when you're applying for a job is I would say journalism, or something along the line of communications or digital work, things like that. Because when I remember applying for jobs, trying to get that, use my journalism degree, which I don't use. Oftentimes they'd be like, okay, well, I would do one interview, and then after the interview, I would do another one, and then they'd be like, okay, we're gonna give you an assignment, and they would make me write something up, or they want me to edit something, and then it was I was doing labor for free, and I was like.
And that's commonplace now. I've heard a lot of people, even in the tech room, they'll have you do programming or something first, and then be like, all right, thanks.
And then I don't get the job. So I'm like, am I going to get paid for that time I spent? No? All right.
I have never had such an issue getting a job. I used to, if I didn't like a job, I'm quitting next week, I'll get another job. I've never been to a job where I've had an interview and they haven't hired me. Last year, I was like,
Gagged you a bit.
I gagged me bad. I said, you didn't hire me. After my interview, you didn't hire me? Oh.
What happened?
Okay. So then I kept doing it. I said,
yeah.
But it is also
Have you reviewed my resume? I'm like
reviewing it, having other people review it, then critiquing it, not critiquing it, but tweaking it to this word has to match this word, this word, this word, still nothing. Then it would be oh, you had great interview skills. Oh, but we just want somebody internal, or oh, your salary request was too high for us. And it's did you know that before you interviewed me?
Because I told you from the jump.
You knew what my expectation was, and you still okay.
And then I feel what did I hear recently in a study where they said that 70 to 80% of applications never even meet the eyes of actual human, the automatic generator if the words don't match up in your resume perfectly, or if they're not aligning to the job assignment. They're just like boop boop out. Even if technically, like you said, like you have the skill set, but it's not looking that far because it's not worded appropriately.
Yeah.
That's why I say you're supposed to apply. What is it, Sunday or something, from where the HR people will come in and they like review the first 15, 20 if they want to, and then the other 80
just go through the system.
Yeah,
that's bananas. I never
crazy.
knew that.
Chippy told me, so I was like, oh,
insane.
Shout out to Chippy.
Hey.
So in that same vein, what besides just the fact that it seems like they're just not biting, do you have any other like major gripes with like the job hunting, job securing process?
Yes, I do. I think one of my biggest issues with it, and y'all said it before, was like the whole cover letter thing. Like, there was a job asking me to do a cover letter, and I was going to be flipping burgers. I said, "You are insane." Or they asked me for my transcripts, and I'm like, "I can show you my degree." Like, I don't feel like going through that entire process. Like, y'all are asking for way too much and not giving enough.
Not nearly enough, truly.
For entry level.
And it feels too close to begging. Like,
yeah,
I do a good job, boss. I sure works hard. Like, who am I? Like, look at my resume. Check the credentials.
Boom.
There's not a lot there, but hey.
Oh, that's my favorite thing to do. I'm not even going to hold you.
You like code switching?
Sometimes it's fun.
It is. It's like playing character.
It is. Like, I'm like, hold on, let me get into corporate hockey real quick.
I have a hard time with that. A very hard time.
Really?
I don't.
Very
It's
hard
fun.
time.
If anything, I fall into my corporate more than my regular. Sometimes it's hard. Like, what did y'all say yesterday? I was like, take it to task. Or
Yeah.
Take it to task.
Corporate Erin. I love her. Wow. Yeah. So we're actually going to need you to do all that work for free. We're not doing overtime, but yeah.
Think of it as a commitment to the company, to your family.
Yes. This is a family.
They love that.
Hate it.
And I just know for myself, like in the job searching process, it got to the point where I almost was like, F it, I'm going to just like go into business for myself. I don't know what niche. I don't know what like I'm necessarily good at. But even that is kind of daunting. I mean, I think B can speak to first-hand experience that it's not as simple as just like having a product, selling it, and, you know, suddenly you're a millionaire.
I think it definitely varies per person, per business, per everything. There's so many different types of jobs as there are businesses out there. So I feel like when it comes to a lot of people who get jobs and work, just do it for the money. For me, it's never been that. So I can't really relate to getting a business to become a millionaire per se. But I feel like, honestly, starting a business, opening up a business is actually pretty easy. It's just putting in the work and investing your energy, time, labor. The money investment part is easy. It's just doing everything else. You have to do it all. So when I hear people talk about applying for jobs and stuff, obviously I can't relate to that. But I know in terms of looking for
soft flex.
Looking, no, not at all. I'm just saying, like, I literally, you guys already know I can't relate though. So, but yeah, I just feel like when it comes to people trying to get jobs or apply for jobs, why it is so hard now is because obviously the economy's messed up. Obviously we went through a whole pandemic. I feel like a lot of people who would normally go back to school for furthering their education are now taking those lower jobs. So they're taking those jobs away from other people. And then now everybody is trying to get the same job, and everyone's just hiring anyone at this point, honestly. People don't care about degrees anymore. Some people do care about degrees, like McDonald's and Wendy's and places like that. I feel like it's just kind of, everything just flipped. So I just feel like the job market is hard. Even for me, when I was looking for employees, I feel like it was very difficult. I was having people apply to work for me with all types of degrees and things. I'm like, you're way overqualified to work here. Or I'd have people who maybe worked at McDonald's for 2 months and they're wanting like $30 an hour and nothing else. And I'm just like,
I know that's right.
that's
worth.
wrong. That's why they're not obviously getting hired. But at the same time, I also feel like a lot of people are applying for the same jobs because nowadays it's so easy to apply with Indeed or Monster or whatever else is out there. So you got to think of these employers receiving not hundreds anymore, thousands of applications every day, because it just takes one click. You can even automate that stuff now. So like you said, they're not seeing all the applications because it's honestly overwhelming. And
they honestly don't even want to hire the HR professionals to sort through that many. So that's why they are outsourcing it to the automated portion.
Mhm.
And I feel like even again on the entrepreneurial side, it's a trickle down effect because ultimately I know myself, times get tough. The first thing I'm doing is I'm cutting out the extra stuff, like my extra expenditures. What do they say? Like haircuts and beauty treatments, X, Y, and Z, little small luxuries. It's a blend because sometimes I do be needing a little something because I'd be sad. But in the same vein, I usually try to like rein it in, and that means that ultimately, like small businesses, I'm not able to support as much, simply because like the resources aren't there the same way that they were.
I feel like a lot of like people say that type of stuff, and I'm like, a lot of the people who support small businesses aren't the people who are cutting back. I want to make that clear.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, oh yeah, all these people who were like the whole Black movement and like the whole COVID, the stimulus check. Oh, you guys probably aren't doing well anymore because there's no more stimulus check. Small business has been here before stimulus check, before the Black movement, and before people lost their jobs.
Black Lives Matter.
Of course, always. I feel like the whole thing about small business is people are going to support small business who want to support small business. A lot of people give themselves too much weight in terms of keeping a small business alive. And that's been a pet peeve of mine. But I'm also very like gung-ho, like I don't need you type vibe. But I feel like a lot of people, like it kind of always comes down to that. Like, well, if I can't support this and I can't support small business, and I hear you, but at that same token, you're not supporting small, but you're still going to Target. You're still going to Walmart. You're still paying Netflix. You're still paying.
No, but that's what I mean. Like when you have less income, those things get cut in general. Like not that they're just not choosing to do small business, but they might even be cutting Netflix and Hulu or shared accounts or.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Give me the password.
Listen, I would say like you got HBO, I'll take Prime, like you know, a family.
Boom, boom, boom.
And in that same, I guess, kind of with the way it looks now, and I can only speak to myself. Do you guys still believe the American dream in its traditional sense is still or ever?
When
really,
was it?
No.
When was the dream for me?
for people in the 50s and 60s, and we
Not for me.
Oh, not for I no.
Not-
Honestly,
I feel like
Not for us.
I feel like the American dream is different for everybody, though. No,
no, the
I don't wanna
American
be in
dream
That's
is
what I meant,
a
like in the-
scam.
well, I don't think that's.
Set up by Todd.
It's a scam.
I don't think that's appropriate to say.
The reason why I say the American dream is a scam because I feel as though they started corporations, like the people who founded these corporations, the millionaires, the billionaires, oftentimes try to sell the American dream to immigrants, migrants, all those people.
If you
right?
work hard enough,
if you work hard enough. So like, while these folks are out here working in these factories 60, 80 hours a week, you know, because labor laws were not as tough as they should have been back then. They out there fighting. They're like, oh, I have to work. And then their bosses are telling them like, well, if you work harder, you can move up and you can move up. I feel as though they showed them a lie. I do believe that at one point the American dream did become attainable. And I think the reason why it became attainable, again, I think is due to labor unions, because labor unions like, look, if you want our labor, you're going to have to meet our demands. You have to meet us in the middle. And I think thanks to labor unions, we were able to get like better paying jobs. We were able to get like the American dream sort of became in reach because a lot of people were able to reach that middle class status, and then some people were able to go out on their own and actually start their business. But I do think that like, even like with that,
I think the overall infrastructure of the societal level is also we had more safety nets. Like you guys already heard that like we're paying into Social Security that we'll never be able to have access
not
to.
using.
Pensions aren't a part of standard packages with employment anymore. A lot of companies you're doing good if you're getting a 401k match or the PTO time to take off, or even if you do have the time to take off, are your benefits even worth a damn to where, you know, you're not having an exuberant copay or deductible to where it makes sense to do these things.
Yeah. And when you think about pensions, because like one of the things that I don't think a lot of people know, like I don't want to get political on y'all, but there are lawmakers in our state house who are constantly trying to create bills in legislature that cuts pensions for like not just like teachers and public service workers, but like they are trying their damnedest to make sure that we don't
It's not a thing.
That we don't get anything, that these companies can cut their their expenses as much as possible so they can have as much of a corporate like gain or whatever. Losing track of the word, but I know like it's like when they like
profits, basically.
because like it's like they'll be like record-breaking profits, like we see all the time, record-breaking profits, and then they laid off 1,200 workers.
Boom, like,
and I'm like, but the profit. Like you gonna come like I think Disney has recently done it. I know more recently Paramount just did it actually. Amazon and Paramount was just boasting about the ratings that the Super Bowl had and then laid off 800 workers. And I'm like, so. But yeah, it's a mess.
And I'm glad that I think the American society as a whole, not everybody. I feel like, and that was another thing that I wanted to touch on earlier. Do you feel that the older generations, because at least in my experience, I feel like Aki said, at one point when the American dream was a lot more attainable, folk that were able to get it were able to speak to be like, yeah, see, I did X, Y, and Z, and I got here. So they told their children that, and their children told them that. They said, get a degree, work hard, you'll be able to pay back the degree within the 6 months that they start asking for a payment and things like that. But then the rug was being steadily pulled from underneath us at the same time. And then you have people to where it's like, okay, you told me to get this degree and you told all of us to get a bachelor's. Now that's as common as a high school diploma. Now folk are having to get masters, going into further debt, going into potentially doctorates, or having to diversify their degree to even qualify for certain roles, which kind of keeps you like, I don't know. I think that's one of the reasons why I took some time off before I went back to school when I initially went back at 18, simply because it like didn't make sense to me from the jump of like, I'm going to go in debt with this degree. I maybe will be able to pay it off with this degree. That doesn't sound like a even exchange. Like especially when like I was feeding my mom and degreed down, multiple bachelors, I think double masters, at one point considered going for a PhD. And at one point between my main gig and when I was working at like a kind of highfalutin bartending spot, we were making neck and neck in income. That math ain't mathing.
It's not. No. I think it's definitely a mess. I think it also like because sometimes I want to be like to like the older generation who are still in certain positions. I'm like, get out so we can move in. But I'm like, y'all literally can't get out of these positions because the economy is so trash that you have to go to work. Now, some people,
so they should suffer.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I will also say some of them actually can, but they refuse, and it's like, please get out the way. So, because then you got Gen Z looking at. Well, I guess sometimes I'm considered Gen Z. Sometimes I don't know. People at my job consider me Gen Z, and I'm like, baby, I'm a millennial, and they're like, you're Gen Z, but
your millennial mindset, but Gen Z year.
But like.
We're all
and I think like some of the people who are coming up now, like those who are like 20, 19, like they are looking to like, okay, what I gotta do to get these positions, and they like, y'all won't move out the way, and it's like, yo, we not even in the positions yet. Like
you gonna have to knock out. You got to knock out. What is it? You gonna knock out millennials? You gonna have to knock out
Gen X,
boomers.
Yeah, some boomers.
The boomers are still there. The boomers are still there.
Biden is what, 84 years old? That man was born 3 years before the Second World War ended. That's ridiculous.
That man is old.
Old.
Old. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm to a certain degree, I'll be honest, I'm a smidge ageist. I think certain things
Come on, Renee Rice.
you need. I think you need to check, like old folk on the roads. I'm sorry, after 60, every 5 years, you need to get back in that line, and I want you to do the vision test. I want you to do the obstacle course.
Don't make me do the vision test. I'm not going to pass it.
I think that those are things, because ultimately I feel like there are just certain things that as we age, we have to recognize the cognitive decline that is just a natural part of aging. I'm like, yes, someone's Nana that's 101 from the deep South still was able to remember every recipe she made when she was 20. Yes, that happens. Statistically, the U.S. life expectancy, I think went back down. It was 79, went down to 76.83.
Oh, shout out to my grandmother. My grandmother.
Gang.
She was 111 when she passed.
And they also trying to raise the retirement age from 65 to 70. So you're trying to give people 7 years of peace?
You're not giving me 7 years of peace. I'm
taking it.
I'm taking it. One way or another.
Truly.
It's abysmal.
It's a little sad.
Any
I'd have to agree.
I have a few thoughts.
I just said the old people are to blame.
So my first one is, so are you saying that the American dream is for immigrants only?
I don't think it's for anybody.
I'm asking Aki.
No, I don't think the American dream is for immigrants. I think the American dream is something that corporate billionaires told many immigrants and folks who were lower class that they had work for them. I think that's what they told them.
And then so from what you heard or read, what is the American dream? What was it supposed to be?
The American dream is I should be able to work a job that pays me enough to feed me, my family. I should be able to get a house, maybe a dog. And the white picket fence. That's what I thought the American dream was. I didn't think the American dream was for me to be rich and loaded, but I thought it was like I should be able to be comfortable and I should not have to worry. Comfortable enough to where I do have that rainy day savings where I have like 6 months to get a new job if I quit or something like that
Exactly.
and pay all my bills. And I just don't think that is a thing. Hasn't been since like, I wouldn't say like the 90s, to be honest.
And that was pushing it too. Like,
Low key.
Mm.
Yeah, it sucks.
and I feel like at this point, like it's unfortunate that like almost all of us are having to work multiple incomes if we do want to even have a semblance of comfortability. Like me personally, like could I survive on one income? Yes, but it's just that survival.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like extra little things I want to do or like unplanned trips. Like I'm sorry, I really don't like to budget too much. Like if I can pay my bills,
Same.
I like to go shopping and not immediately check my bank account afterwards. Like, okay, where we at? Like, yes, there's money management, and I guess that's why you just get an accountant because I'll let somebody else handle that. Like, tell me how much I can do without screwing myself over. But I really just don't like to constantly feel like I'm looking over my shoulder for the next auto debit.
Yeah. I would say if I can be a little candid, I got my part-time check because I have the part-time job, and it was a pretty fat check. I got that part-time check. When was it? Like last Thursday? Baby, I got like about $100 left, and that's all went to bills. Like like 90% of it went to bills, and then I went grocery shopping, and I'm like, mind you, I still have more bills to pay when I get this check. It's my
So
final
would you
few
call
bills.
that living beyond your means then?
No, because I mean, it's water bill, it's the electric bill. I also have to pay my internet. I also have to pay rent. I have to pay my car insurance. I have to pay my car. I have to pay my cell phone. Like these bills are high,
And they're
and it's
basic
like,
bills.
and it's just like the necessities, and then you have your extras and stuff. But like the bills that I have, that it's not even just like utilities and stuff like that. But you also have to think, I went to school, so I know I have some loans. I got to pay everything. Like it's always something, and I'm just like, I don't have it to give. Like, stop taking it. Now, next check, luckily, it's my free check for the most part. I have to pay 2 bills, and then it's mostly free. But it's still like, that's not fair.
Yeah, I hate that it feels like it's a, ooh, Lord, I got me an extra few nickels this check.
No,
Like it should be like a little
literally.
like treat.
And it's like, if I didn't have that part-time job, that
would've
next
got
check would not be that free. That next check, I probably would have probably 100, 200 to myself.
Mhm.
And that's even before I would say, okay, let me put some of this in savings.
Oh mercy,
It sucks.
getting stressed.
Well, what are some of the ways you guys fill in the gaps other than a part job? Because I can think like you guys have always either worked like one job or a singular income. Is there ways that you guys find to like fill in those gaps? Like, are you more of a person that just like cuts back significantly? So you're like B said, staying beneath your means, or do you like, I know a few folk in here have the OnlyFans going on. Like, I don't know if that's like something you use to like fill in the gaps.
I don't.
I'm cheap already, so I've always been not cheap. Cheap is cheap. I've been cheap all my life. Like I really don't like name brand like luxury stuff. It's cute to look at.
Fun to play with, not to eat.
But it's just like my most expensive thing is food. I'm never gonna cut back on that. If I want to eat out every day, I'm gonna eat out every day. It doesn't matter.
Real.
I've always wanted to ask this question. You don't like it? Why don't you like it?
I don't like what?
Designer stuff.
It's not that I don't. It's cute.
But you say you don't like it. Like you don't want to buy it?
Is the
I don't wanna
connection
buy it.
Is it the connection between like, yeah, it's pretty, but like it's also $900?
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, okay,
No,
okay.
absolutely not. $900. That you know how much food that is? You know how much good food that is?
Good.
Good. You
And
can
I don't
go
care how
out to
they try
eat
to
on that one.
rationalize it either. Like it's so rare. Like it's 14 this, 18 karat this. I'm like, baby,
Lobster.
I done turned to look off of an Amazon necklace a few times. Amazon.
That's real.
Like,
That's real.
But it's cute though. Like
I like
What is my
designer.
favorite one?
Don't look at my back.
No,
I saw the
I
eye.
can't even see that far. What's my favorite? Dior.
I like Dior. It's nice.
Chanel.
Like,
I like Prada. Prada's really
Prada's a cute
nice.
moment.
Yeah.
but like
Balenciaga
Dior.
before the whole thing.
Oh. But it's just I don't. It's cute to look at.
Mm-hmm.
I just rather.
I hear you.
It's basically where you want to spend your money.
Mm-hmm.
I want to spend it on food.
Definitely.
Also, don't go if you are trying to be cheap or trying to be frugal. Don't get food with I. Do not get food because he'll be like, I'll pick the place,
No.
and like he was like, it's gonna be real cheap.
Now wait a
Picks a
minute.
steakhouse where the cheapest thing on the menu is like
$50.
What?
Now wait a minute. 5 minutes ago we wasn't gonna skim back on food. Now we're drawing the line. So
But it's not.
True.
But
at the
it's-
same vein,
caught me. You
the
caught
reason why
me.
I'm able to do that and be like, hey, let's spend $150 on a dinner is my ass is at Aldi's any other time.
Oh yeah, see, I'm not.
See,
You know I don't cook.
I be
I
trying.
cook a lot at
I
home.
do.
I cook a lot at home. Like I can probably count on my hand the number of times I've eaten out as far as like DoorDash or Uber Eats. Like that stuff is crazy to me. Insane. You're paying $15, $20 for delivery because you want it quick?
My sister
I don't
actually
leave
got
the
the
house.
It'll be
the
lukewarm by the time I
Dash
get
Pass.
there.
Yeah, my sister actually got the Dash Pass, so I don't pay delivery fees, and I get a discount. I get like they take all the extra fees off, and like the tax that'd be like $4, it'd be like 15 cents.
If it's $2 more than what it would be if I stepped in the store, I will rationalize that it's worth the gas. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I tell myself that all the
I'm
time.
so lucky I live by all them food places.
Low key say,
Y'all both have good spots.
but I'm
bro.
tired of them. I'm tired of them. I can't do no more.
Why?
There's too many around me that like I have. Well, I have not been eating McDonald's, but you have Chipotle. I have Taco Bell. There's a Burger King, which I don't get often. Then you have up the street is like Chick-fil-A,
I
Penn
love some Bigot chicken.
Station. Same. It hits.
Some who?
Some Bigot chicken.
What is it?
Bigot
They don't
chicken?
like us.
They don't like
Oh.
it. Yeah, I mean, I said, choose your battles. You gotta choose your
It's
It's
battles.
not
Know
that
when
good.
you
Y'all
gonna
be hating
win.
on Cane's.
Canes
'Cause
are
they're
disgusting
nasty.
and does not have any seasoning.
And Chick-fil-A does?
Yes.
More than Canes.
It has salt on it.
At least the breading
Canes ain't
stays
got
on the
shine.
chicken.
My bread always stays on the chicken. I be good. I be smacking it.
Salt.
But that's just me.
Fries be soggy.
Wet. Bread is only crispy for 30 seconds. Don't close the lid.
And then they be like, oh, the cane sauce is so amazing. I had that. I said,
That ain't nothing
never
but
again.
ketchup.
Except in
Y'all want the
May.
recipe? Ketchup, mayo, Worcestershire sauce, and a little bit of like garlic powder.
Boom.
That's all it actually is. It's really not that
Boom.
advanced.
I also got beef because they didn't hire me when I
Haters.
was trying to get hired there.
Haters.
Always and forever.
So is there anything that you guys, would adopt from other countries that like, for me personally, I think
Prostitution.
Real.
Vegas has that.
I do think sex workers do deserve a labor union and they deserve labor rights. I would
Absolutely
say
do.
that for sure. Yeah. If I could start it, I would do it for them
We are pro sex work.
Yes.
I love it for who it works for.
because it's gonna pay my bills one day. And let y'all
Because
know
there's a
that
few
now.
times I've almost gotten out there with y'all.
Honestly, it's like let me make something shake real quick.
I just saw my AEP bill and I was like, well,
And they keep
I
adding
need
fees.
that.
I would do,
money.
what is it? Who has Universal?
A
Canada?
few places. Sweden, I think, has it. Canada, to a certain degree,
Universal
does.
healthcare.
They have universal
Yeah.
healthcare, but
Yeah.
have y'all thought about a universal? Would y'all be down for a universal like base income, even if it meant an increase in your taxes? Like if you knew at the end of the day you was getting at least a band a month, flat, like on top of whatever income you also get.
Oh.
Like if you lose a job or if you just are between jobs.
Oh, I see
For
what you're saying.
everybody?
I would not mind that. Even with the tax increase, and the reason why I say I would not mind that is because our taxes are increasing anyway, and our wages are staying the same. And you can think that I'll never forget that man. He signed that bill. They passed that bill, and our taxes are increasing. Like
For like the next 2 or 3 years.
yeah,
Something
until
crazy.
like 2026, if I'm not mistaken. And like the crazy thing about it is, the people who could actually afford the taxes and what they make, they getting all the breaks, and it's coming back down on like the middle
That's how it
class and
goes.
lower class. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
That's what goes back into the layoffs that you guys were talking about earlier. They got all those stimulants for hiring people and bringing everybody on, and now they're not getting those cuts anymore. So they got to let everybody go.
That's between them and their accountant department. That's terrible. Like, they need to figure that out. Someone should have had.
I mean, that's the government too, though.
I mean, yeah, the government should probably have done some more checks on, like, hey, before they start sending out the money. But, like, also, like, they should have had the foresight to be like, okay, yeah, right now we could hire 1,000 more people, but maybe let's only hire 250. That way, when this money will end, because they knew it was going to end, we might be able to, like, not have to, like, inconvenience over a whole entire departments.
But then you also have to think about they hired the people, then they fired the people. But the execs, like the top execs, the CEOs, is getting
kickbacks.
Yeah,
like out of this world. Like, I can't tell where I work. But somebody where I work, bonuses millions, salary billion. Like, and I'm sitting here like,
my favorite is when they fire people, like when they do a bunch of layoff, and then the CEO gives himself a like huge bonus check, and I'm like,
$750,000 bonus check. What
did you do? I'm not saying you didn't do no work, but like,
what did you do? And I think that's a common misconception with people that think that are like absorbently rich, is that we feel like they either work harder or put in more. No, if anything, they work less. And I think anybody that has slightly climbed up the corporate ladder knows this. The higher you go up the ladder, you may get paid more. You have less to do. The way they were in my ass at entry level positions, and now I'm doing good if I speak to somebody for 2, 3, 4 weeks. They don't care when I come, where I go. Like, it's very relaxed.
I like it. I know what you mean. I get exactly what you mean. I know exactly. And then I won't even just go in on corporate, because I don't think all the blame should be on corporate. It's also these nonprofits as well. Because the nonprofit industrial complex is very much real. It is basically just a cesspool of people who are like, I'm not saying all nonprofits are evil, but what I will say is if it's a huge nonprofit that is like known, national, all that, 9 times out of 10, their like work culture and stuff is horrible. It's normally the small nonprofits that like really don't be having the money and like they be working like crazy. Like, I hate that for them, because they're working like crazy, but they're making sure like the community or whatever they're doing, it's actually happening. Whereas the big ones, for the most part, and I would say I know this from experience, they for the most part just come in, might write a cute little check or something just so they can slap their name on it, and then also get all the credit for it. And I seen that happen in person, and I was like, oh, this is insane. This is insane.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep my thoughts to myself on the nonprofits, but yes, I agree.
Yeah, no, because and I know T about them funders too. Like, especially like, well, I'm not gonna say I know T, but when it comes to like even funding for like nonprofits and things like that, it's really about who you know. It's really about who you know.
Truthfully, and I think that's a big thing to where if I had known beforehand, I would have spent. I was such a loner and like working at jobs, thinking like, okay, I'm coming here, get my check, go. I might have been a little bit more social, because the way that they will hire somebody internally in a heartbeat because they know Judy Sue, and I'm significantly more qualified than them, but it's just because that's their bestie, or that's so and so's husband or wife, or just we go golfing on Sundays. So they're the ones that actually are going to the after work events and drinking with everybody.
Yeah,
I don't have that in me, by the way.
Yeah, or you got the ones where it's like, and I always laugh because I think about it, because this actually happened like in real time to me, and I was low key gagged. Like, they love to give you a new position, or give you a new title. Like, we're gonna make you. We're gonna make you the coordinator for this program, and it's gonna come with all this work on top of the work you're already doing, but it does not come with extra income or anything like that. And you just be like, oh,
for your experience.
They're like, we do it because out of the love. Like, someone literally told me.
Put this on your resume.
They literally told me, like, when you do this work, do you not get satisfaction from it? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I feel good doing the work, but like, what it would make feel really good is me paying my rent and also paying all my bills and not have to worry about which bill I'm gonna skip on. That would feel amazing. So yeah.
True. Touche.
Mm-hmm.
What do y'all think overall, just what is going on in the world is, what do you think probably it weighs heavier on? Because for me, probably in recent years, I've realized it's not as much inflation, I think, or even to a certain degree, the recession. I think these companies are greeting, and it's a lot of the price gouging as well.
That's what it is, for sure.
For sure. Like, things that. What was the thing that I bought the other day that pissed me clean off? Because I had bought it in years, and I was like, "Ain't no way in hell this is what it's like now." I got cereal,
Yeah.
fluffed rice dust covered in sugar. Why is it $5?
Oh yeah.
What name brand is that?
It was something simple, like, but it was one of the. It wasn't name brand. I normally do get generic. I ain't gonna hold you. I like me generic.
I'm gonna do name brand. I'm not gonna hold you.
I thought you were naming. The
Technically,
cereal
that's still
as full
inflation though,
name
because
brand.
they're having to compete with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cyclic. So like one
Yeah.
company will raise their stuff up, and the other company is just like, oh well, they still getting bought. Their stuff's getting bought at $5. We probably can throw a few extra pennies on here, and then
It's like gasoline.
Yeah, because like I remember like at one point the price for like a barrel of oil, the reason why it was so high because they was like it's in the triple digits right now, and when it gets back under that and gets to the double digit, it's gonna go down. It went under them double digits, and it took forever for it to go down. And when it finally went down, it only went down for about a month, and now it's
Back up.
Listen, I drove home yesterday and I saw $3.39, and I said you were $3.19 this morning, and you were $2.94 last week. What happened?
No, literally.
There's a gas station here that I literally don't even tell anybody about because I don't want them to stop the promotion. They do premium gas the same because my baby girl should take premium. They do premium gas the same price as their 87 regular on Tuesdays and Sundays.
Not you gatekeeper.
I sure am. Because I like to be able to just do. It's a little word of mouth place.
That's real. No, but yeah, I would say it's a mix of price gouging because I think the inflation that when we're talking about inflation now, this is literally just corporations just price gouging. This is them literally like they are raising their prices because they want to. You mentioned the cereal being $5, so.
Chips.
And chips, because I every now and then I would get me like the family size bag of hot Cheetos so I can put on Grey's Anatomy or The Walking Dead or something and have something to snack on. And I went and I was gonna go buy some recently, and that bag said $5, and I looked and I said, this don't look like there's $5 worth. And I was like, well, I'll just get like the regular dollar bag because the dollar bag I remember it went up to like $1.49. I was like, okay, and I looked. And that was $2.69, and it was small as hell. And I was like, so I'm not gonna get any of you, and I don't know what I'm gonna do.
They say milk, eggs, and Little Debbie's will tell you where.
Yeah,
Eggs almost had me ready to like storm the Capitol too. I was almost there with them on the 6th because I'm like, a dozen eggs?
I love a buy eggs.
Philadelphia cream cheese was $4.79 for a little thing like this big, and I said $4.79.
Because at that point, just spit on me because that's how disrespectful that
Like,
feels.
I just want a couple bagels. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Is just a couple bagels, and y'all, like I always say, I don't think it's that controversial. The government hates us.
They do.
Number one. Number two. There's a point in time where, as we see in other societies that, just
Let's take a page out of the book of the French.
flip the
I say
table.
that
Flip
all
the
the
table,
time.
Mazel tovs, a little something.
Even though Marie Antoinette ate when she said let them eat cake, she kind of ate with that.
And that's why
that's why they had to get her.
they beat that lady blue.
But she said let them eat cake.
I'm gonna just throw this in there. The government is a collection of people together, so I don't think everyone in the government is out to hurt people.
Oh yeah,
95%.
I would say.
I wouldn't even say 95%.
I think
I'd say 100%.
a lot of people.
I wouldn't say that.
I don't think everybody's out to get us. However, what I do think happens is there are a lot of people who go into politics, all that stuff,
For money.
looking to make actual change. However, they realize, and this is why I didn't go into politics, because you have to compromise so much that at one point,
I almost
That's what I
name
mean.
drops because I was about to say that there was this very prominent politician that was like really big in during the Black Lives Matter movement.
AOC,
That's what I was gonna say. Yes,
I'll
her.
say her name. I don't care.
Yeah, she had that rag to riches story. I was really rooting for my queen from the Bronx. I was like, she's a bartender, like a server or whatever, and she's really about to do some things. And then whatever the ones where she was posted up against the fence for the photo op, and I was like, are we in a simulation? Like, what's going on here?
No, because she really was posing for the cameras at the. I was like,
Why are you crying?
was the
I
fish
think
you
people
made.
get into like politics and different things. Like, hell, I was criminology, and I was like, oh, I could be. Then I I did my internship at the police department. I said, "Oh, y'all gonna fire me? Y'all gonna fire me real quick because I'm not arresting homeless people. I'm not. If I see you sleeping on a grate to get warm, do you need another cover? I got one in the back of the car. Like, that would never be me.
You
So
want
I
to sleep
said,
in the back of my car for a while?
you're gonna fire me. So that's why I let that one go. But there's only so much you can do in a system that there are so many people working to make it work. And if the system works how it's been working, it doesn't work.
And if it's making them make money, that they have no incentive to change it. Like I
The
think,
prison.
I
Why
think
would you do that?
I really do think it's a little unrealistic and maybe a little idealistic for people to think like, oh, everybody that goes into politics or everybody that's going in there is doing it for the greater good of their common man.
Absolutely.
That is not the truth, guys.
Absolutely
I am
not.
so sorry. They're not more noble than us. They don't have these upstanding morals and ethics that the rest of us don't have. It's a cash grab at the end of the day. Like, a lot of them are in it for the overall recognition, the access to wealth. They'll be able to bump shoulders with some very high yuckity mucks.
Ooh, nepotism is bad. It's the reason why our governor.
I love a good nepo baby though.
Like
Shout out to Willow.
I like a nepo baby, like a celebrity nepo baby, yes. But like like you actually have power. Like I cannot like.
We shouldn't have had two
You have the
Bushes.
governor, and then his son is literally on the Supreme Court.
See,
Hello?
Yeah, no.
What? Like, how does that work? And that is why redistricting was such a mess. Yeah, I know y'all, T. Don't worry.
But that's why it's very important for everybody to go to their local council meetings. I feel like, those people don't get into those positions. But, well, yeah.
Local politics.
But at
is
all
where it's
levels, like, don't only go for the elections. You need to be there every time they're coming around, because ultimately it's the people at the bottom that make the decisions for the next level, next level, next level. Like, they don't just pop up there.
Agree. Because I would say
Yeah.
local politics is where your local politics are going to affect you the most.
Right.
So when your city are having those meetings about the city budget and different things like that and where they're going to go, what they're going to do with that money, it is a good idea to go to those meetings to advocate for where that money should go. Because sometimes they will allow people to come in for comment. I know even like with the state budget, I would say that's also very important because I know how much money is going to go into education, how much is going into healthcare, how much is going into this, how much is going into that. And if you are paying attention, you will realize that a lot of like education programs, education period, but a lot of like after school programs and stuff, they get less and less and less and less funding, which is why, our students are reading on like a 4th grade level.
Or can't read at all.
And they're about to graduate high school. When I saw at back home, because I'm from Youngstown, and someone from one of the Youngstown City schools, the Valedictorian, the GPA was a 3.5. My sister graduated as valedictorian from the same school system, and her GPA at the time when she graduated was a 4.3.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's usually above a 4.
You're above a 4. It was a 3.5. I was low-key salty because I was like, damn, if I had went there, man, I would have been top of class. Like, my GPA would have been so high.
Hello?
But, like, yeah, no, it's a mess.
We need Eric Mays everywhere.
We do not need that.
I'm going to say keep him where he is at.
He's funny.
He's a good time.
But I do have a question for you all. What's something that you would like? What's one thing I would say, like, as far as like whether I would say it frame it this way: if you're the employer, what is something that you feel you would have to give your employees?
A livable wage.
Beyond that.
Livable wage, work from home, work-life balance.
That was one I was
big.
going to touch on. Like, how do you guys feel about the whole remote versus hybrid versus in-office debate? I'm very pro remote. I hate
Same.
people. So whatever I can do for my job without having to interact with them, I love. I get both sides though. They want us in office because, they don't want to pay for
Whose side are you on?
I see both sides of the coin. Not that I agree. I still am very pro
I still
remote.
don't see the other side.
But they got to pay rent. And it makes sense to pay rent they could sell the building, but then that's also like property values. And that's from the investors and all that stuff.
But that's not our problem.
It's not.
I'm very pro remote or hybrid. My first job was not my first job. My last job was remote, and when I tell you, I was amazing. But like, I can understand why they want us in the office. But like, I'm not gonna hold you. Like right now, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna say it because they not watching this. I'm like 2 weeks ahead on all the work I've done. I'm 2 weeks ahead. And I'm over here like, now I gotta make myself look busy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over here watching The Walking Dead and Fear of the Walking Dead while also like, let me just create this just in case we might need it one day.
That's sometimes when I take on the extra projects when I'm just like, well, let me shoot. What else we got around looking here? Because I find myself in the same boat that I'm done on Monday. And
Also, I could do most of my work from bed, so.
not that I would ever do that. I just work in my office.
I have
Hate.
done my work from bed.
And it gives me a visceral reaction every time I step out of my apartment door and that wind hits my face. And I say, did I just walk by 2 computers and a modem right there to drive 20 minutes
To
to
2
sit?
computers and a modem.
Yeah.
It the whole way down on 3 flights, I just be cussing. I just be like,
Me taking my computer
really?
to the job.
Then I gotta pay for gas. Then the food.
Work clothes.
Oh, wearing clothes. Jeez.
Lord,
Louise.
I don't wish that on my worst enemy. This is my second time getting dressed this week.
Love that for you. Can't relate.
I
ain't
know
gonna
they
hold
tired
you.
of me wearing the same jeans. Because I ain't changing them.
No, because sometimes like it's been time I walked into the office and I'm like, listen, like I gave up. Like I have I ran out of outfits for the week and I'm not going to start washing my clothes until the weekend because that's when I have time to do it. So
I
even
get
then,
people. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying even then.
I get people. Oh.
I was going to say,
Well, I get people who want to be in the office. Some people want to escape the house life, or I don't want to be at home with the kids, or whatever the case may be.
Weird.
Y'all should just go in the basement or something, or like do something. But then I understand. What do the people up top be saying? They say you want to be in the office so that they can
see what you're doing.
see what you're doing.
work.
That's micromanaging. Then, so you can move up in the company, people need to know who you are, and and it's kind of like,
You see me on Teams. I'm available.
How is this lady been working me for 10 years and she's still in the same position? What's going on? You know her?
Why
She
ain't
came to your
on-
daughter's party. You know her.
Why ain't she climbing?
Hello. You can't tell me I got to be here in order for you to climb, and then people who are here is not climbing. Like that don't really make a lot of sense to me.
I actually want to ask you because I remember when you were hiring people. I heard your stories. I do feel bad for you because I do feel like you low-key got like the stereotypical like employees that they talk about, and I was like, oh, he going through it. But how does what do you look for when you do hire someone?
I guess it depends on what position, but yeah. So I guess it just depends on what position.
Mm-hmm.
What are some key traits in a employee that you like?
I find different things in different people, honestly. Y'all asking the wrong person.
I will say though, I think one thing I was saying is that I did notice when you were like hiring people, or like when people were working for you, like I would walk in, you would be the one saying hi to me, and I used to be like, y'all not gonna greet
I
me?
feel like that. I don't know if that's generational or what, but again, I'm older than all of you guys at 22, so I really can't compare what I look for in people because it's not going to be what you guys are willing to give. Because as you guys just said, you're not looking to do, and no one is anymore, what I'm looking for or what I was looking for, which is why I'm no longer looking for, because no one's wanting.
People don't want to work these days.
It's true.
I don't.
People don't want to work.
I do
People
because I
want to
have
get
to.
paid and they want these livable wages, but they don't want to do. They don't want
wanna
to
live?
eat because it's like, what is livable wages if you're not driving to work anymore? If you're not paying for car insurance or for car note,
You gotta
livable
pay that
wages
though.
is your rent. Like your rent isn't as much as people want to get paid nowadays, though.
I think it should go past just 3 hots and a cot.
You know,
No, I'm not saying that you guys are wrong, but what I'm saying is people don't want to work. And back in the day when people were, quote unquote, again, making more and having better living wages, things were definitely less, but you're still doing the same work. So I feel like it's not fair for us to expect so much out of these corporations or even small businesses, especially for nonprofits and things like that. Yes, they're getting all this money, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's not as, I don't think that people are looking at it from both sides or looking at it in terms of like the actual finances, what people are able to do with that. Because when you have these budgets, you have to actually pay people certain amounts of dollars in order to get that budget, to get that approval. So if you're only given certain amount of dollars to pay employees. There's only so much that you can do. And yeah, they could say, well, take it off of my top and give it to them. But most people aren't going to do that. Would you do that in position? You
Yes.
I
definitely do.
have.
Yes.
I
Like,
would definitely.
being in like a union, I have before.
Well,
I
that's
have
different though.
Well, it's not because it's like it's solidarity. So like the way like we
Solidarity
can all,
union?
So like if you're in a union and they say, okay, we're going to give you a $10 raise.
Okay.
But this person who probably has been here longer than you and has been doing it, and they not making nearly as much as you, they're like, oh, we're only going to give you a $2 raise. And I've seen people,
I've seen that,
and
for
I
sure.
myself would be like, actually, let's even this out. And so like, so it makes it
So
like
that
we-
one person. What
not
about
just-
everybody else?
Everybody.
No,
Because
like-
your $8 isn't going to go very far. That's not going to pay nobody's bills.
Well, maybe that.
that $8 raise will pay a room.
No, I'm saying take the $8 and do 2. That's not going to pay anybody's rent or bills. So I hear you and I love that for you, but that's not really helping anybody out, is what I'm saying.
It does.
There's no way.
Because like, so you have to. The way
More
I
than
see
30
it,
cents.
it's like a what we call it. It's sort of like a wage, sort of like step ladder. So it's like you get a job, right, and you say, okay, so starting here, you're gonna make $45,000 a year, and then every year you get your what is it
Oh,
called?
so this is like
You get
salary and stuff.
Yeah, so you get your cost of living.
Okay, never
increase,
mind.
things
Then
like
I
that.
take what I said back. I'm thinking that you're meaning like per hour and just
Oh,
for that. Because you
even-
obviously weren't there for more than 4 years, so I don't think
Even
it's
with
making that big
that.
of a deal.
But even with that, yeah, I've seen that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It like it's like a whole thing because I would say I've seen it both sides on the what's it called, on the nonprofit sector for sure. Because I will say this: the nonprofits who have like the less funding are the ones who normally do the most work, and they're the ones who are actually the driving force.
That's my friend
And-
Ashley. I don't know if you met her,
I
but
haven't. She seems like she'll be cool though,
why?
because she works in nonprofit.
Oh, well, that's not the case for everybody.
Shoot.
But yeah, she does that actually. She works for it's like Feed Columbus or I can't something.
See, like those, like, so when you have nonprofits that are more like small, definitely for the city and things like that, boom, you're golden. But when you start getting them nonprofits that be like a national, there is a national nonprofit out there that is known to be horrible to their workers and pay them terribly, while like the top execs, like the top people in it, get the money and get the kickback and stuff, even though they know they have the funding. And that's why I was saying, like, I can see both sides of like for nonprofit. Corporate, I can't see both sides, but I will say it just, you can't talk about record profits if you're
I've
gonna win
never
someone.
seen it in corporate only because I again think the CEOs take all the money.
Yeah, they don't. There's no.
I'm
no one
s-
used
I'm
to
I
say-
like that
sorry.
you say I think though.
I
like-
think I
appreciate
don't
that.
know that,
Yeah, I
but like,
appreciate
don't
that.
tell me you have record profits. Don't let me look up your salary and you making $1 billion, then your bonus check is $750.
I also don't think we need we have a place where we need. I'm sorry. I think there should be limits on income. Like you don't need to make.
And that's just from the job. You know he got other sources.
Hello, real estate. He probably got a chip in on the building that he's actually trying to bring y'all back into. But yeah, I don't think we need billionaires. There's no reason for that.
We can have millionaires.
A millionaire makes sense.
I think that's such a weird opinion.
You don't become
personally.
a billionaire without stepping on somebody on the way up. There's
Yeah.
no.
What's
way.
wrong with that though? That's life.
Because if you, okay, so say you're a billionaire, right? Hear me out. Hear me
It's a
out.
little child
Hear me out.
slavery. I mean,
say you're a
Not
billionaire.
slavery.
Say you're a billionaire and you making all this money, right? And then you have
Wait, before you guys even move past that. First off, we only got 5 minutes left. But when you're saying billionaire, do you mean net worth or do you mean like actually in the bank? Because that's a big difference.
both.
Okay,
both.
continue.
And the reason why I say that is because there are billionaires. Like for instance, you have like the billionaires. Perfect example, Apple.
Mm-hmm.
They make all this money. The CEO has all this money. He's making money. The founder is making money.
You know how much he's paying though, too?
Yeah, I do know how much he's paying.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, but he
taxes, everything.
but he can afford it, and half the time they have tax write-offs.
But he couldn't
then-
afford it if he wasn't making that much.
But
though.
he could, and you want to know why? Because he is. Then they have the children over in the Congo and everything, literally slaving away to get the things, like the materials that they need to
mine's
get the
just
stuff.
collapse at autumn.
Or I'll give you a better example.
Allegedly.
No,
Baby, it's not
documented.
alleged. It is doc. I'll give you the best example. I won't even say billionaire. I'll give you a perfect example. Sheen.
Yep.
Sheen. Them kids, or even better, Drea. Drea was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was Drea who was called out. Was it Drea? No, I'm
Who's
tripping.
Drea?
You don't know Drea?
Who is
That's
that?
She left her kid at home with some pizza pockets.
Yeah, y'all know that the original IG baddie, but or even
I'm
like,
too old.
wow,
Or even iPhone. Remember the whole scandal before when they had literally have the nets because they
Yeah.
were really working them so hard that they were jumping out the building.
Can we beep that word out?
Unalive
Thank you.
nets.
or you could say like even Rihanna. Rihanna
Yes.
has gotten in trouble for because like they found out like for like what is it, the Savage 50 stuff, the working conditions were horrible and the people were being paid like $2 a day.
That's a hustle.
That's not a hustle. She hustling for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
She
sure.
killing it, and that's why I was saying like that's why we were saying like there's no way you can be a billionaire and not step on somebody on your way
Yeah, and I'm saying, what's wrong with that?
It's just not right to step on people.
because people. Would you want to be paid $2 a day?
If that's what I had to do to make a living in my country, and that was gonna
But
make
it-
me
but
a
it's-
livable wage,
But that's not giving them a livable wage. They are struggling.
yes. But if they're, I feel like I'm big on like if that's the only job you can take, and that's the job that you take, and you're okay with that, I don't know. I don't believe in slavery, of course not, and I don't believe in kids working. But that's also our policy here in the States. So other countries, if that's what they want to do, I mean, obviously not. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it.
Well, see, that's where you go into labor laws, and they're breaking labor laws. Or what they do is they will like remember when all the jobs are being exported out of the country because they knew we can get away with paying these people.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
3 pennies.
That's what I just said.
But it's still breaking labor laws.
It's honestly just
Our labor
repackaged
laws,
slavery.
yeah.
Yeah. Ours, but I will also say theirs as well. Because then even they had to start cutting down. I was like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that it's good at all. But what I'm saying is I feel like that's what we've been doing all this time, is stepping people's backs to get to the. That's why it's called a ladder. That's why it's called moving up, stepping up, because you got to step on somebody to move there. So I feel like it's up to them to adopt better policies, correct? But I don't think that all billionaires and millionaires are bad. I don't think that anyone rich or at the top of a business is bad or should help out every single person below them. Because like that's the whole point of getting there.
Eat the rich.
That way you don't have to do anything.
I love
But
Beyonce.
how do they get there?
That's not for us to.
Yes, it is. That's how
It's
you
for us to
transform.
research.
Yeah.
Y'all should research how to make more money. How about that? If y'all
I
complain
have.
about the money. I mean, let's be honest.
I have. And the way to do it is, you have to step on this or you have to do this. You have to do that. Then you have people out here. What's that girl name who wrote a book about how I became a millionaire? And it was literally just like cut out from magazines. What is that lady's name? The eyebrow. And she be singing and she's very annoying.
I'm thinking you're talking about the Coach Stormy lady. That's right.
Well,
That's
her
right.
too, but there's
What
another
did
one.
Kim
She's
say?
on
Nobody wants to work. But no.
She don't even
In
want to work.
conclusion, Robbie said the government hates us.
I agreed.
I
Zai and Aki said that we need to do better with our jobs and paying people.
We do.
And we need to work on the political committees, people in office.
Screaming.
I don't want to name drop people.
All various
I can name
genders,
drop.
pronouns, and associations.
I will name drop a lot of these folks in office right now at that state house.
And I think that we should do what makes us happy. I think that if you're not happy, change, do different, do better, do your better, let people live their lives as long as they're not harming people. But yeah,
And eat the rich, eat billionaires.
if that's what you want to do,
I love Beyonce down, but I'm gonna be real
She
with
gotta
you.
go first.
I love you. I love
I
you.
don't-
Whoa.
I love you, girl.
I disagree with that.
I don't agree with
sentiment.
that.
Get it down.
I love the
You're right.
rich.
Bezo first.
I'll be with you guys very soon, so save a seat.
I know that's right.
I know that's right. Now, when they come at you crazy, just know we warned you. We told you. We told you. But yeah,
Well, once again, guys, thank you so much for joining us for our third episode of the SpitFyre podcast. Until next week, it is your Fire Squad, and we will see you guys soon.
Be safe, be blessed, be peaceful, and be loved. Be yellow. Y'all like that?
no.
No.